Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good night, everyone. Today, we will be exploring the challenges of translating taboo language across cultures. This includes examining how profanity, slang, and culturally sensitive expression are handled in media, literature, and music, and what get lost, altered, or adapted in the process. My name is Abdullah, and my student number is 138. Understanding taboo language. Taboo language is not simple offensive speech. It carries emotional intensity and serves various social functions, from expressing anger and humor to asserting identity or power. When this kind of language is translated, the translator must navigate cultural boundaries. What's acceptable in one language may be offensive or confusing in another. These cultural differences shape how taboo language is handled in translation. Descriptive translation studies by Gideon Torrey. Gideon Torrey's descriptive translation studies approach focuses on actual translation practices rather than idealized models. He introduced the concept of norms, culturally and socially determined expectations that influence how translators make decisions. When dealing with taboo language, these norms play a critical role. They often determine whether a term is retained, softened, or removed to suit the target culture standard.
Equivalence in translation. Mona Baker identifies different levels of equivalence in translation. At the word level, translators seek a direct match. Through this can lack emotional nuance. Idiomatic equivalence is more complex. Expressions like slang or metaphors may not exist in other languages and often require creative solutions. Pragmatic equivalence focuses on the speaker's intent and the context, which becomes especially important when translating emotionally charged or socially sensitive language. In the case of taboo expressions, however, a literal translation might fail to convey the same effect or could be inappropriate in the target culture. Therefore, translators must consider not just meaning, but tone, context, and impact, ensuring the translation aligns with both communicative purpose and cultural acceptability. Film example: The Wolf of Wall Street. In this example from The Wolf of Wall Street, the line "Get the F off the phone" is translated into Indonesians as "Cepat matikan teleponmu," while the meaning is preserved. The intensity is not. The aggression and emotional force of the original are softened, likely due to cultural expectations and censorship policies. This demonstrates how translation can significantly alter tone and character portrayal. Literature example: Trainspotting. Trainspotting by Irving Wells is known for its strong use of dialect and profanity. The language is essential to the characters' voices and the gritty realism of the narrative. In translation, however, much of the rawness is lost. For example, a line filled with profanity may be toned down or rephrased entirely, reducing its authenticity and emotional weight. This raises questions about fidelity to the source text versus cultural adaptation.
Music example: Web by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. In music, explicit language often plays a central role in delivering a message. The song Web is a prime example. Its lyrics are unapologetically bold and provocative. In censored or translated version, the message becomes diluted or even obscured. Moreover, many slang terms used in the song have no direct equivalent in other languages, making it difficult to preserve both meaning and tone. Why study taboo language in translation? Examining how taboo language is translated offers insight into cultural values, censorship practices, and the global reception of media. It reveals how language is shaped not only by grammar or vocabulary, but by power, context, and social norms. Studying this topic encourages a more critical understanding of how translators influence the way we experience content across the cultures. Here comes the conclusion. In summary, translating taboo language is a complex process that requires cultural sensitivity, creative problem solving, and an awareness of audience expectation. It's not only about finding linguistic equivalents, but also about preserving intent, emotion, and impact. Each translation choice carries weight and contributes to how messages are interpreted in different cultural contexts.